Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on chess.com's tactics trainer, and I'm going to work my way through 3 puzzles and just share my thoughts along the way. What is this first puzzle? Wow. Doesn't get too much more simplified than this. What is the big idea? We're supposed to win or draw this? How? How do we do that? Um, okay. Let's just try pushing the pawn. Their pawn is faster. If we play a4 on move 1, um, a4, d4, a5, black's going to queen first, we queen next, it's a draw. If we play a4, king b4, and what are we doing then? this, this puzzle so far, I must admit, is making me feel really stupid. There aren't so many candidate moves. It's going to be a king move or a pawn move. Oh, what does this do? What does this do? It might be king b6. Ah, it is. And what's going to happen, I believe, is black will get a queen, and then we'll be on move with the pawn on a6. We'll push. No, that wouldn't work, because the queen will be able to control a8. She'll play to d5. Let's see. I think it might be king b6. No, that's not working. King b6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then black's next move will be to get on this diagonal and stop the pawn. So what does this mean? It means we have to play a4 on move 1. a4, king b4. Oh, and then king b6. Okay. a4, force the king to make a move first, and then king to b6. Ah, okay. We need to make the king commit first. Move order. Move order, move order. Oh, that's a pretty sneaky puzzle. Okay. a4, king b4. And the idea here is king b6. If king takes pawn, king c5 would hunt down the pawn, and now it's just a race where black queens, white queens, and it'll be a drawn endgame. Okay. Let's try puzzle 2. Weird start. Team white for this one. Oh, we're just so close to queening. Can we force this through somehow? The rook is the only one stopping f8 equals queen. Okay, well, we have some mating tricks, I believe. Like b5, and if the king goes to the 7th rank, we promote with the discovered check. So if we start off with b5, and this really should be the first one I'm considering, b5, king b6. What do you do there? A follow-up check of rook here. I don't know what that really accomplishes. King goes to b7. I don't see the follow-up. b5, king b6. Bishop takes pawn. If rook takes, we promote. b5, king b6, bishop takes pawn, king takes bishop. What do we have there? Ah, we do have something. The king and the rook are on the same rank. So we play rook here. We're giving up a lot of material, though, just to get a queen. But then again, from this position, we are down a minor piece. Have a pawn for it. I don't know. We'd end up with a queen versus a rook knight. Yeah, queen versus a rook knight and bishop. b5, king b6. Bishop takes pawn. I mean, this pawn is hit twice. If we're not swift, it's just rook takes pawn and we got nothing. b5, king b6. Bishop takes pawn, check. King takes. Oh, no, we get a piece. After rook here, rook takes rook, pawn push is with check hitting the king and the knight. So it end up in a position where it's our queen versus a rook and bishop. I think that's the best we could do. I don't see anything else. Bishop takes c5, yep. And now this move. We get a queen, puzzle solved. Oh, we still have a pawn in the position too. Yeah, I forgot about that guy. He's important. Well, he'll go on to win this. Picking up the knight. Yeah, let me just take it out a couple more moves. So let's just put this on. Rook g5. Rook takes. We get a queen. And yeah, if you go here, we take the knight with check. So there may even be it may even be something better. We don't even have to take the knight. I guess we could go after the rook. If the king goes here, there's queen here. Probably multiple ways to win it. We could probably take the knight and be winning, yes. Or even go here. Okay, yeah, that's pretty slick. b5 first, and as mentioned, if the king goes here, we promote. Discovered check. Okay. Team white. Multiple checks present. Any rook move is check. Bishop check here. Not the first one I'm looking into. We could always win the queen. But I feel like we should be able to mate here. Where's the mate? It feels like there should be a mate. Rook to... maybe we just win the queen? She is unprotected. At the very least, there's rook d7, we win a full queen. So next best would be killing the king. Yeah. Let's see. Rook d7, we could always get the queen, but where's the mate? Oh. Rook g8. King has to go to one of these two. Queen g7's mate. Okay. Last one. Another king and pawn one. Okay. That was a mate in two, that last one. Okay, we can't win this. The king's going to get to g4, and he's going to win this pawn. The trick here is to somehow take opposition. So how do we pull this off? How we don't pull this off is by playing f5, because he mops up this pawn, and then this pawn next, and there's a pawn in reserve. Black pawn that could always move, and black can get the opposition back. If black can get the opposition if he wants to. So what's the idea? Probably to approach with the king. Yeah, it's going to be a king move. Or is it? Yeah, I think it's a king move. With some idea, I believe, to maybe pitch a pawn and force this guy forward. It may be g6 on move one. Let's see. If g6 and king takes pawn, that's a simple draw, because king g2, king f3, and they're not even getting this pawn. And even if they do, by that point, there's a way to take opposition. So on g6, king takes, I know what to do there. I know how to draw that. On pawn push, pawn takes pawn. We can't allow the king to take the pawn there. I think this is actually to sack both pawns. This is a clever puzzle. So it's sometimes really interesting to see how few pieces can have some depth to them. g6 pawn takes. And I believe next we have to play f5. Notice because the pawn is creeping a little bit closer, these ideas to have like a tempo with a pawn advance are, they're not going to be there in this kind of an ending. With the king and pawn endgames, trying to promote a pawn, ideally you want your king out in front of the pawn. g6, the pawn is creeping a little bit closer to the king. f5, pawn takes pawn, the king is no longer in front of the pawn. And in that position, we would play what? King g1. Approaching with king g2 allows king here, taking opposition. King h2 allows king h4, taking opposition. The solution must be g6 takes, f5 takes, king g1. If king g5, then king f1. Let's put it on. That's correct. We have to do it like this, and we have to go to g1. There's only 3 legal moves, but here there's king g4, here there's king h4. Have to go here. And on that move I was saying king here, and I believe I still am correct on that. Yes, have to go to f1. Going here allows here to here, and the king is getting out in front of the pawn. King f1 must. And on that move, now we can take opposition, and the puzzle is solved. Let me just dive into that original position once more, because I know I was not helpful when I just said, okay, I know what to do if king takes pawn in this position. Here's how it may play out. Let's say king here, 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 here. Actually, we're not even going to be getting the pawn. Black won't be even getting the pawn. This situation, a check like this and black will actually lose. But I was seeing a position where, what position was I even seeing? Something like this. Yeah, I was seeing a position like this, where even if we lose the pawn, we go here, take opposition, and it will be a draw like this. I did a video covering this idea, how to promote a pawn, and goes into these little details with taking opposition. It's a direct opposition, a case where there's exactly one square separating the kings. Kings are on the same file, one square right between them. So I knew that that was a draw if king takes pawn. And we have to run it like this. Making a king move allows the king to go here, and the king to take the pawn, and because black always has a pawn move in reserve, there's no way to take opposition. So we need to pitch both pawns back-to-back moves, and then play king g1. Playing to h2 allows black to take opposition, black takes opposition again, and then we get outflanked, and we're just cooked from here. The pawn will promote. Clever puzzle. You have to play g6, you have to play f5, and then you must play to g1. And then you must play to f1. Going here allows that. Going here allows that. Oops. Yeah. Going to this square allows that. and going to h2 allows that. You have to avoid these scenarios. So g1, f1, and take opposition when the king approaches. I think it happened like that in the puzzle, and then it was solved. How it would play out is something like this, if you're unfamiliar. King backs up. If you must retreat, you retreat to the same file square as the pawn, and you're not going to have any issues. Opposition, push, and the next move will either be king takes pawn or stalemate. Okay, well, interesting group of three. Two king and pawn endgames. First and third. Feel free to share how you did with these in the comment section below. And as usual, I hope you got something out of it. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.